Look how far we've come, all the things we've done. Did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view. But there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
And we are back.
We are back, Bumble bitches.
Bumble buddies, Bumble bros,
That doesn't feel
Bumble
right.
brochachos,
That's more of like a you
Bumble
thing to
burritos.
say. A burrito sounds nice.
I labeled your vlog last night the mentally ill burrito because of what you said. And I got on AI and tried to create one. And after like my fourth or fifth attempt to get one that looked mentally ill, they were just burritos with eyes and like a sad face. I was like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah.
It killed it. But I was totally trying to make a
Right.
thumbnail for it and was going to stick it over your face while you mentioned it. But
I love that.
it didn't work out because
How did you like that vlog from yesterday? I felt like that was pretty goofy and funny in it.
it did not start off that way.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of tears in the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the shift in our days through our vlogs because we start when we wake up
Yeah.
and it goes until about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. So as our day progresses and we have the morning thought processes and we're trying to work through the things that we dwelt on overnight, you know, that lingering subconscious thing, we work through that in the morning and then we'll do our episode or we'll have lunch or whatever, work out whatever we do. You can see the change in our demeanors throughout the day, which I think is really fucking cool because most people, when they make vlogs, they're faking shit or they're speaking on a specific topic to keep it coherent.
Yeah.
And we are documenting our days.
Right.
And I think that that's really, actually really cool
Hell
because
yeah.
it shows that we're authentic. It's not, hey guys, look at us.
Right. Putting on a show or whatever.
Yeah. It would be dope if your equipment was clap on, clap off. I would only have to clap once though, because if I clap twice, wouldn't it just turn on and off?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless it was like the clapper.
Well, that's what they were saying. But was that a because I clapped twice to sync the audio.
Well, it was clap on, clap off. The clapper.
Right. But so did you have to clap twice to get it to turn on or would one loud clap do it?
Well, if it wasn't two claps, they fucking lied.
I think we should buy one and test it in the bedroom. Turn that bitch into a strobe light.
I was about to say, you trying to give me a stroke? Oh my God. So what do you got going on after this?
We have kids at home and dinner and editing. You mean later?
Yeah, after all of that.
Yeah. You going around too?
The answer is me.
I know it is. That's why I didn't say it. This is part of the telling you no thing because, you know, you do enjoy that.
I do. I love it so much. I like it when you deny me things. Is it so fun for you?
It is.
Or are you just doing it to be an asshole now?
It's
Like,
not
do
an
you still
asshole yet.
Okay.
Nope.
Yet?
Yet.
What do you mean yet? I'm not going to get enjoyment out of it if you're doing it to be a dick to me.
You'll never know. That's part of the fun.
Hey guys, little quick interruption. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a like. And also don't forget to comment. We enjoy interacting with you guys and hearing your opinions, and it helps the algorithm.
It's also free to do, and if you really want to help make sure the show continues to do, hit the subscribe button and share the content across your social medias. It costs you nothing, and it greatly helps the show. Do you want to talk to my manager, Karen?
Hey, my brain is short-circuiting right now.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We're going to have to reevaluate some things after this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to step outside and have a conversation?
No, because I'm still
read?
discombobulated right now.
It's all in fun. I would never do that to you to be a dick.
I appreciate that. That was the reassurance that I needed after this. So
Yeah.
thank you for bypassing that.
Nope. It is solely a place of enjoyment. Jenna said, "You're fucking with our reality. Stop it." Okay, so now that we're done playing games and the fun has been had, we need to quickly plug Patreon and jump into emails. So as you guys know, the TikTok ban is only been postponed for 90 days. If you want to ensure that you never miss content from us, jump over to our Patreon and join our Patreon community. If you join the $15 tier or higher, you get free live streams. Well, it's not free. Obviously, you're paying for the tier, but you get live streams 3 or 4 times a week where we record every episode live like we are currently doing in front of our Patreon audience now. We have After Dark episodes where we do stuff that's not email related. We just have fun on the episodes, and Discord karaoke might soon be a thing. By the time this comes out, it may have already happened. You might have missed it. You don't want to miss it in the future, so join our Patreon. And a disclaimer, we are just two autodidacts on the internet who have new knowledge, new information that we are sharing with people because it worked for us and we're hoping to help you make your life better. How was that?
That was good.
Okay. And welcome back to episode 11 of season 3 of the To Be Better podcast. We are in our 3rd year of this.
Yes.
I also would like to real quick before we address the PJ Creations comment. I am very fulfilled in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just like it's all of our life. It's every aspect. I was thinking about this morning because of the conversation we were having while we were walking the dog.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that we are taking on that I am not sure about. We had a whole lot of conversation about this morning, like a whole 2 hours while we were walking. Mm-hmm. I don't know where that's going. And I think that I'm feeling the way that I feel about it because it doesn't feel like it's doing anything for me in terms of feel good. Everything else in our life is done from a place of feel good. We don't have to do shit that we don't want to do anymore.
Right.
So like the podcast and sitting here today on a Tuesday when we're not supposed to be live and recording, today's supposed to be a day off. We're here having fun and like joking with our friends and reading articles and having conversations. And this is filling my cup. Like I got to have fun with you this morning. And like, if we were at home, I would be doing computer shit and you'd be cleaning. Like we wouldn't be together doing anything. We would have went for the walk, did the gym thing, and then I wouldn't have been really engaged again until the kids got home. Or I would have come to the studio and edited anyways, and I wouldn't have been here. So like there's a lot of gratitude in all of this. And thinking about the fact that this has been 3 years, and I would like to see us hit a decade. I would love to see the To Be Better at a 10-year mark and have multiple side projects and interviews with famous people and crazy fun, like, could you imagine being able to talk to like big name people about their marriages and about, you know, the things that almost broke them and how they overcame them and be able to tell those stories? And like, I really would like to continue doing this. I'm very grateful for our life.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that from you, babe.
On the comment that was left, I know you guys saw Peaches taking a hit. It is just a CBD pen.
Yes.
She's still on her tolerance break.
So I have the email in front of me from Wednesday's live.
Okay.
Where that couple sat down and wrote it together, and it was very discombobulated.
Okay.
Do you want to try to read that again, or you want to do something else?
Did they resend it?
No.
No. Then I would like to do something else.
Okay, then I'm just going to move this out of here.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to read that email, but I would like it to be more.
They need to separate it.
Her point, his point. I'm going to wear that black button-down shirt that I bought for the photo shoot in Vegas that I didn't wear, so that when we come in tomorrow and we do our Patreon reads.
Or Patreon reads. Oh.
Yeah, make the disclaimer and shit. I don't look like a bum.
Okay.
I don't have any of my jewelry on today. I was planning on going back home after we walked the dog. And you're like, oh, we're not going to the studio. I'm like, fuck it, we're going to the studio. Like,
yeah, I had no intention on going back to the house.
Yeah. I was going to go home and change.
Yeah.
Sitting in this chair that nobody knows that I'm in my sweatpants.
Yeah.
If I didn't get up, I could be in my boxers and no one would ever know. It'd be like that guy in the Zoom call that's just wearing a jacket with a tie.
Right. All right, continuing on. I mean, not continuing on. Well, I'm scrolling through this email because I don't know if we've read this one or not.
Okay.
This one's titled Young Dual Military. And I feel like we read this. But I'm just going to get into it, and if it rings a bell, let me know.
Okay.
Chris and Peaches, I wrote an email a few days ago and wanted to address it. I don't think I gave you enough information to get accurate guidance. I do want to start by saying how amazing you both are. I started seeing your TikToks about 3 months ago, and now I can't stop listening to your podcast. It is what I have needed in a couples podcast. You both have helped me realize what I need to do to be a better wife. I'm 21 years old and grew up in a rough home that has left me with some rough scars. I have been in therapy for a long time, and I'm trying to work through it. I was diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar, PTSD, and depression. I am on bupropion. Medication names are so stupid. I don't know who comes up with it. And something else that starts with an S. And both have dramatically affected me. I got stuck in a forced marriage at 17 and was able to get out and get an annulment right after I turned 18. I enlisted into the Marine Corps where I had nothing to my name and needed to get on my feet.
How do you start an email with that and just skip right over it?
The forced marriage thing?
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. What the fuck did you just say? You were forced into a marriage at 17? Are we going to pretend like you didn't just say that? That's just background information? Like, how the fuck did that happen?
I guess so.
Yeah. Guys, we want details. I don't want trauma details, but you can't say something like that that's not normal.
Yeah.
Or like a commonplace thing and
Not
just skip
elaborate.
over it. Was it your parents? Was it like how did that happen? So confused. Bupropion and sertraline.
Those are the ones.
Okay.
I met my husband when I was 19 and he was 21 in September of 2022. We got to know each other, discovered we'd had some of the same hobbies, and I truly felt safe with him. He was never the first date sex guy and went out of his way to make sure I was taken care of. We started dating, and then he got sent to do some training, making us long distance.
That he's not a sex on the first date guy is huge.
Yeah.
Especially since we push the courting phase and dating phases and building foundations. Like, it's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
So, man,
I
if you're
agree.
listening to this podcast and you're in the dating game, quit trying to smash on the first date. Unless that's all you want. And if that's the case, just be clear with the person before you go out with them. Like, hey, I'm just literally trying to smash. Like, if that's all, if you want a relationship, this isn't it.
Yeah. It wasn't a problem for us. We decided to do check-ins together because we were both slammed and wanted to keep communication open. We did weekly and monthly check-ins. We had tense conversations but never fought. When we did come home and we got to have sexy time, it was great. He makes me feel safe and taken care of. He truly unlocked my feminine side that I hid away for so long to protect myself. Then 2 weeks before he was done with his training, I had to get my first shoulder surgery. He helped me as much as he could by helping me change, shower, and literally dressing my wounds. He drove me everywhere. My car was a stick, so I couldn't do it with one arm in a sling. And even would leave work to come to the barracks to help me if I couldn't get something taken care of by myself. I had 30 days of convalescent leave. Is that what that is?
I mean, that is definitely a word. Let me Google it and see what that is. I did all that for you with your surgery.
You did.
It's a type of paid leave that allows military members to recover from an illness, injury, or childbirth.
Okay, dope.
So she had 30 days to recover from a surgery, which is not enough time.
No.
Okay.
It takes 6 to 8 weeks.
Before you can start physical therapy.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Certain things can take years to fully heal. Like a nose job isn't fully healed for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's news to me. I don't understand how. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just wait and see how this goes.
Okay. I had 30 days.
Oh, I knew I was gonna yawn. Damn it.
I felt the yawn in my throat, and that's why I paused before I started reading. I was like, okay, I'm going to yawn and then I can jump into it. But I was like, oh, wait, no, maybe I don't have to yawn. Now I'm just sitting in silence, and husband's going to be like, what you doing over there? And I was like, I can't just sit here saying that I'm waiting to yawn when a yawn hasn't happened yet. And it was a whole thing, and then I started reading, and then I yawned. Okay, now I got to know, because that wasn't just a smirk and a giggle. That was a sigh. So.
Is this 2 days in a row where you've talked about something being in your throat and it wasn't my
motherfucker? Don't hit me with that.
Focus, woman.
I'm fucking trying. It's so hard.
Yeah,
it's so
it would
hard.
Be. You're right. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to shut this whole thing down if you don't stop.
You should probably get back to the email.
You need...
Stop talking.
You're the one saying the dirty things. I'm just existing.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you still have fun with me and enjoy me.
Of course. Our life is dope.
Hell yeah, it is. I had 30 days of convalescent leave and was doing great healing. Then I go back to work and get treated like shit because I had to leave for so many appointments. Being female in any male-dominated career is hard, and before the surgery, I didn't need anyone's help and busted my ass at work. I was looked at as weak and just wanted to get out of work. I had to bust my ass 10 times more to prove that I wasn't a piece of shit. In the midst of all of this, he and I decided we wanted to move in together, but on a military paycheck we couldn't afford it without getting married. He was previously married to his high school sweetheart, but got divorced 6 months later due to her infidelity. We decided to give marriage a second shot. We both never wanted to get married on paper. It didn't matter to us. What mattered was moving into a place together, getting out of the barracks, and partly the pay. Oh gosh, marriage in my mind is this like super beautiful, sacred thing that two people get to experience together because they're both putting in the energy and the work and the communication and the understanding and the grace and all of that. They got married because what was important to them was getting a place together, moving out of the barracks, and having money.
Well, military pay is different if you're married.
Right.
So there was a reason for that, but not the way that they described it. Because they're not legally getting married. So there would be no benefit military-wise. This literally just, they're cohabitating.
Well, it sounds like they did get married because of all of the things that they wanted.
She said that it wasn't legal, though. They didn't care about the legal aspect of it.
We both never wanted to get married on paper.
Right.
But the next sentence is we got married in May. So they did.
Oh, okay. Well, that eliminates my whole ass conversation that I was waiting to have.
Yeah.
I'm going to have it anyways.
Okay.
Do you think that the idea of marriage is shifting because of the way that the internet is? Like, we know the definition of marriage has changed. Like, why people get married has changed. But do you think that people are becoming more and more okay with getting a spiritual marriage without the government involved because of the way things are going? And do you think they do it because it's easier to walk away? Like, you're still getting to play house, but you're not actually...
I don't know if I can say that more people are doing that because there are so many, specifically women, who are so focused on the ceremony and the day being about them and having this massive milestone to show off to the world on the internet.
Right, but they're living for the wedding day and not for the not for the marriage. That's a very different scenario. So I guess in that aspect that makes sense, but
I don't know if more people are choosing to not do that.
We hear a lot of people say that they're never going to get legally married, that they'll have their own ceremonies and they'll do like we did, and you know, that'll be a thing. I don't know. I feel like it's becoming more and more prevalent where people are saying that they don't want the government involved in their marriage.
Right.
And what does that speak on, the hatred to the government, or does that speak on
the understanding that you don't need a piece of paper to be married?
Right. I don't know. I view the covenant between you and your with your faith and like the person and the vows being way more sacred than paying a tax and getting a piece of paper.
Right.
You can create medical surrogates and do a whole lot of things that will let you live as if you're married to somebody in the government's eyes without actually having to pay them for the right to be married. I don't know. It's just a thought. It does have to be on paper for the military to pay. I was right about that. But I missed that whole aspect. I didn't hear they got married in May.
Well, it's the next sentence.
Yeah.
But I just understood the implication that they were going to get married anyway because they wanted the money and the housing.
Right. I took it as they went to some beautiful beach together and said their vows and they're married now.
Continuing on. We got married in May of 2023, just before my 20th birthday. So they weren't even together for a year.
And this is her second marriage before 20.
This is his second marriage. Oh, yeah, you're right. They both been married previously because she had that weird arranged thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Continuing on.
Real quick before you do, somebody in the chat said, I definitely think that my uncle and aunt were married for over 30 years with children, and my aunt just left one day when she decided she wasn't happy with my uncle anymore. That piece of paper is not going to stop someone from leaving.
No.
It doesn't. That piece of paper is completely irrelevant. You're literally just paying for the right to get an insurance break and tax break when you get legally married. There is nothing. It's not going to stop infidelity. It's not going to stop anyone from leaving. It's not a super piece of paper. It's a piece of fucking paper with ink printed on it.
It's not going to keep miscommunications from happening. It's not going to keep resentments from building up.
Right.
It's not going to force the other person to want to work on things and smooth things out when things become hard.
Right. But your relationship will.
Right.
And the way that you tend to nourish the bond between the two of you will. Wanting to be the best person for your person because they deserve the best person that they can possibly get with you because they're that fucking dope.
Right.
Right? That's a whole lot more important than a piece of paper.
Yeah. Continuing on.
Yep.
I know we are young and it was probably not the best move, but I don't regret it for a second. We bought our first house in June of 2023. This is when shit started going south. So it hasn't even been a year yet of them being in a relationship. They got together in September of 2022.
Married in May and bought a house in when?
June.
Okay.
And this is when shit started going south.
Okay.
So not even a year into the relationship and they're having issues. We used to have a very strong sex life, but when we got married, it changed. We bought our house and then our communication went out the window along with our sex life. We dropped the ball when we stopped doing check-ins. I was trying to figure out my mental health and medication after I was diagnosed bipolar. Began to become overwhelmed with the house, our dog, and then we made the dumb decision to have roommates.
I agree that's a dumb decision.
Not just any roommates, but our best friends.
Why do you think the relationship changed? What's the catalyst, right? Because you're in that honeymoon phase still.
Right.
Like things are new. Like in a year, you haven't even experienced like truly explored your kinks yet with each other. Like you're still very vanilla unless you're just honest about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand how that can go that far. Now I understand that she's on medicine and some of those meds can affect your mental and your sex drive. Is it because you're living together now? Like, is it no longer about, I don't know if I'm going to see her again for a couple of days, better get it in while I can. Like, what's the catalyst? You can't say things like that and not tell us why you think things stop doing those things.
Right.
Because that's a very pivotal thing. You went from being very loving and intimate to not. And we're not going to just skip over that and talk about now you got roommates.
Right. Continuing on.
Yes.
It has caused so much conflict and we have damaged our communication and openness. On top of all of it, I was still dealing with work and healing from surgery. We were stressed from our roommates and it felt like we were parenting adult children. We reminded them to clean their rooms or help with the house. Mind you, we didn't need roommates. We are financially comfortable. We did it out of the kindness of our hearts. Oh boy, did we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to tell all of you right now, unless you have no choice but to take on a roommate, do not let people live in your house.
No.
It is hard enough to live together and like try to figure out whose shit's going where and what the decor is going to be and who gets to decorate what room and do we need a bath mat? What color's the bath mat? Hey, there's fucking toothpaste on your mirror. Can we reorganize the refrigerator because I think the ketchup goes on the other side. The spoons are on the wrong fucking side of the drawer. Like there is so much shit that goes into moving in with somebody. The last thing that you need to do is complicate that by letting somebody else move in with you just because.
Right.
I don't like that. I understand that if I had a friend that was truly in need and I was able to give them a room, you're renting a room.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to do laundry, you can do laundry on Sunday. That's the day that I'm not doing laundry for the rest of the time that you're here, but you only have like 2 or 3 months to get on your feet and you're out the door.
Yeah.
This is not long term. This is literally just to give you a leg up so that you can get the fuck out and go do your own thing.
Yeah.
I love you. I want to see you succeed. Let me help you out. No rent, 3 months, you're out the door. That gives you 3 months of paychecks to come up with first, last, and security, buy some fucking furniture, a new microwave or whatever you need in your house and you can go. And if you can't figure that out in 3 months, you're out the door. You can live in your fucking car. I gave you an opportunity. At that point, I have no guilt. But I will be damned if I'm going to let somebody come into our house and disrupt what we've got going on.
Right. I was bitchy and all over the place, and changing medications to find what helped me made me even worse.
Of course it did.
Okay, but if it's helping you, it's not making you worse.
Right. Well, the problem is you can't just change your medicine.
Right.
Because the new medicine that you're going to take is going to conflict with the old medicine, and there's
Right,
an
that has a
adjustment
shelf
period.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
So like if it takes, I mean, you can Google any medicine and be like, how long does it take to come off of this medicine? That's how long that it takes for that medicine to work its way out of your system and your brain to go back to normal. So going from medicine to medicine to medicine, trying to find something that works, you have a whole lot of time of multiple medications commingling in your bloodstream that's going to do a whole lot of shit that you don't know what's going on. Like that's a problematic scenario. We also need to mention, thanks to the chat, that she's also still healing from a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Which normally comes with opiates, which is also a brain altering drug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was emotionally pushing him away and he was physically pushing me away. He was so overwhelmed by taking care of me, himself, and our new house that he never wanted to be intimate and really started struggling with his mental health. I got him to see a therapist and we got into couples counseling. Then I had to get a second shoulder surgery. This amazing man slept on the couch for almost a whole month because I could only sleep in a recliner without pain. He made sure to give me my meds when I was out of it and always kept ice going in my machine. 3 weeks after my second surgery, we got into a car accident when a pickup pulled in front of us and totaled our car 2 days before Yule.
Jesus. I don't want to get too far away, and I am sorry that I keep interrupting you, babe. I know that like we normally have back and forth, but there's a lot of things that are being said that's catching me, and that I emotionally pushed him away and he physically pushed me away, and then she went on to list all the things that's going on that's stressing him out. When you are under, as a woman, when you are under an extreme amount of stress, are you sexually active? Like, does that get your fucking guts going? Are you ready to throw down in the bedroom while you're worrying about everything else that's going on in your life, dealing with the kids and, you know, not having self-care and having to take care of an adult human being and having roommates that are fucking in your space? Like, does that do it for you?
No, it doesn't do it for me, but the release is nice.
Absolutely. But you have to get to the point. Like, you got to go out there and get that engine running and let that bitch purr for a little bit before you get that release.
Well, that's the intimacy that happens beforehand.
Absolutely. But that comes from an emotional attachment and a physical attachment. And that's the flirting throughout the day and making sure that our relationship is okay.
Mm-hmm.
In that scenario, I can see why the sex stopped.
Yeah.
Absolutely can see why the sex stopped. I'll try not to interrupt unless it's a really good interruption.
No, you're good, babe.
Okay.
Can we get back into the email?
Yeah. Unless you have something to add. Hey, do you remember? Do you remember in season 1 where people were like, he just interrupts her and won't let her talk? And then I was like, do you have anything? And you were like, no. And then they were like, I can't believe he asks her, do you have anything? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah. You really can't fucking please everybody.
Oh man. The shit that we think about.
Yeah.
It's funny. Okay. I'm good.
I don't believe you.
I'll try to not interrupt.
Okay. That was me busting your balls.
I know.
Okay.
I got it. That's why I laughed.
Well, I feel the need to clarify. That's the trauma in me. And I'm trying not to cry because I was just mean to you.
You weren't mean to me.
That's how it feels, though. This is so difficult for me.
It's not. It shouldn't be. You want to know what my it was not to be cut. The moment that you were like, I was just busting your balls, I almost made a sexual reference to my balls to just keep that going.
Right.
So just know, and I'm not going to say it because there's no need to, because I don't want to have to cut it. It's just more editing.
Yeah.
Just know that there was no, you should be very good at that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just run with it.
I mean,
And in the event that it goes too far, I'd be like, too much.
Okay.
Too much. It's like a massage, babe. Too much.
Gotcha.
Gotta ease up.
Or like me scratching your back.
Yes. Sensitivity overload.
Okay.
Shut that shit down. Pineapple. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why I touched my nose with that.
I don't know why you did either.
It felt right.
Yeah. Okay, back into the email for realsies, guys. He tried his hardest to prevent the accident, but I still ended up messing my shoulder up, and he blamed himself. I've told him there was nothing he could have done, and he keeps saying that he knew our car needed front rotors. He withdrew even more when his dad got into a motorcycle accident and his sister got super sick.
I'm interrupting again.
Okay.
If I knew that the car needed front rotors and you got into a car accident and it was a faulty from the rotor, whose fault is that?
That would be your fault.
Right. Because I knew that there was something wrong with the car and I let you drive it anyways. This is the whole protect. Mm-hmm. This is provision. These are the things that makes a man, in my opinion. The difference between a male and a man. What are you smirking at?
I just looked at the chat and Buff Bell was like, it's all I can hear now.
Oh.
The slurping noises. Sorry.
That's one of those things that he has the right to feel that way.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to be the guy that goes, good, you should feel that way, because it's kind of an asshole thing to say. This is the catalyst to make sure that your woman's vehicle is taken care of for the rest of your life because there was an accident. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean the rotors are actually what happened? We don't know. We don't know what caused the accident. So like, that's a different conversation. But if he truly feels like the rotors were the problem and he was the reason for the accident, time to take some accountability. Mm-hmm. Make sure that shit doesn't happen again.
Yep. Continuing on.
Yeah. I'm going to twist and stretch my back while you read.
Okay. Then right after that, our kitchen flooded while we weren't home and we had to replace a bunch of stuff, putting us into debt. All this crud happened between November and January. We were beaten. Right when we thought everything was slowing down, he got sent away to do a Marine Corps shit. He got sent away to do Marine Corps shit for a month. Oh, a month and a half. And we were at each other's throats. That's crazy to me. I couldn't imagine you being gone for a month and a half and the whole time I'm just trying to kill you.
No?
No.
even with all the stress that just came from all of the 3 major things that happened, his dad dying or dad being in a motorcycle accident, the car going in the flooding in the house, and then him having to leaving her there with an injured shoulder to have to deal with all of it.
None of that's your fault.
Perspective. Now, let's also keep in mind that they've been together for less than a year.
Yeah.
Or a little over a year.
At this point, a little over a year.
They've got roommates. There's a whole lot of other things that are creating external factors, and they're not communicating.
Mm-hmm. I'm away from you for 4 hours, and I miss you.
You liar. It's like 15 minutes. What? You said earlier that if I'm gone for more than 5, you're coming to look for me. Sending out search parties and shit.
Oh my God. You didn't have to say that part out loud like that. You didn't have to remind everybody.
You just said it.
I know.
Why did I do this to us?
I understand that it's healthy to have a break from your person. And sometimes you might feel like you need a break from me.
Ooh.
You don't need a break from me? Okay, good. That's what I was waiting for. I needed the reassurance.
If I thought our toilet could handle both of our weights, I would invite you into the bathroom when I drop a deuce.
Oh my goodness, are you so serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
you could
that.
totally sit in my lap.
That's so romantic.
We could do check-ins while I'm pooping. I would be totally okay with it.
I love the idea of that.
I don't think that our toilet can handle that. I don't want to push it because,
that's a good idea.
That's how you get hemorrhoids. Get it?
Because you push it. Push it real good. I hate it when you have to leave the house to come to the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it even more when you stay at a video game and you don't come home right away. But I'm like, no, he needs his cup filling time.
Yeah. Self-care.
He needs the community of things. And I just patiently wait for you to come home.
Those are the days that you meet outside. I
meet you outside as often as I can.
Those are the days that you pay attention to me outside the most.
Yeah. Yeah. I am also training myself. Like I am, because my first marriage, part of the reason that I left was because of his gaming.
Yeah.
And there is a deep-seated fuck that in me. And I am training myself to not feel that way with you. I like to think that you haven't felt that from me because you haven't caused a reason for me not to be okay with you gaming.
Right. Well, we've never had an argument over the video games.
No.
So Chris said that they're rated for 600 pounds. We are not doing that. Could you imagine what would happen if a toilet broke underneath of us and that porcelain got embedded in between like our hamstrings or into my butt cheeks?
Okay. You're right. Continuing on. My best friend was in my ear with her damn opinions.
Oh.
His best friend was in his ear. It was like having 4 people in our marriage instead of 2. We got into a huge fight while thousands of miles apart over camera. We used to have a camera in the living room to watch the dogs while we were at work, and he decided to watch the camera and listen in on conversations while he was gone. It happened more than once, and I finally got so tired of asking and telling him to stop that he exploded and smashed the camera.
What you got to hide?
The conversations where she's shitting on her husband with her best friend in their home.
Right. Right. If there's a camera set up and I can hear the audio and I want to pop in to see what's going on in your life, unless you're doing some foul shit, it shouldn't bother you at all.
Right.
Real shit. If I was gone and I was like, I see you sitting on a couch looking all sexy.
Yeah.
Would you be like, I can't fucking believe you're watching me on the camera right now?
Oh no, I'm putting on a fucking show now. I know you're looking.
Right. I don't see that as weird. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that the only reason that there would be something wrong with that is if there's actual bullshit going on in the house and it's creating fights because you ain't acting right.
Or something's being said you don't want to be heard.
Right. Why is the best friend running their mouth?
Right.
This falls back on the conversations that we had yesterday. You don't get to say bad things about my person. Even if I'm angry and I'm talking shit right now, I'm going to say some bad shit. Nobody else is going to do that because that's my wife.
Right.
I can be mad at her. You can't. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that that's an extreme and I don't expect other people to understand my thought process behind that, but that's very real for me.
Mm-hmm. Not playing that game. Yeah, that would really bother me because it's no different than me living in the house physically. If I walk from our bedroom into the living room, you're not going to be like, please don't listen to my conversations.
Right. Yep. There's a whole lot of concern there too, because that would also lead me to believe that there is improper is not the right word, that there is nefarious conversations happening probably on cell phones.
Yeah.
In chat, you know what I mean? Like,
my abandonment would kick in. You're cheating on me.
I wouldn't even call it abandonment. I would call it trust.
Yeah.
You're showing me that you're talking a whole lot of shit behind my back. There's no loyalty.
Yeah.
Why aren't we working on this together? Why the fuck are you going to every Tom, Dick, and Harry about our problems when we should be the ones having these discussions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't have, and I've since apologized, and we've discussed this in length. When I smashed the camera, he told me I was acting like my dad.
Oh, she smashed the camera.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, I read it.
Yeah, no. She smashed the camera. Mind you, he has never and will never meet my dad. He was abusive and is no longer in my life. It cut deep. When he got home, he started to get really snappy, and after a while, I would get mad and slam doors telling him not to talk like that. And I realized we needed to do check-ins again. We realized how much of a problem our roommates were and made his best friend go back to the barracks until he got out of the Corps, and my best friend is moving out next month with her husband. I asked him to spend time listening to your podcast with me. I realized how much I had shut down with him. I wasn't having the deep conversations that he wanted. I turned on my independent woman switch and was not sweet or caring. I realized that before my first surgery, I was confident, in the gym, soft, and overall really happy. Then, when I had my surgery, I started gaining some weight, and I've had a hard time getting back in the gym because of pain. God, I'm so conflicted.
Why?
Because you're telling me not to worry about it and go get it, and I want to honor my husband by doing what he says, but I also want to nurture you and take care of you and go get the Advil.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting that cramp that I was getting in Thailand whenever I stand up or sit down.
Continuing on, I am in the gym, but I'm still currently doing light stuff to keep me moving. I was trying so hard to prove myself at work that I didn't realize I was being guarded and the strong, independent bitch at home. I'm getting medically separated due to the surgeries and complications with the car accident, but these things take a while. I have such a hard time turning off work and coming home to be the sweet and feminine wife I truly want to be. My husband has a less stressful job and a better COC. He has told me all I did today was look up car parts and hang out. I'm being drugged through the mud at work, and when I come home, I'm so drained I don't want to move. He comes home and wants to hang out. Works on the project cars and asks what's for dinner. I want the pink and blue responsibilities and I want the stay-at-home wife duties, but I'm so drained that trying to figure out dinner and what we need at the grocery store just aggravates me. I don't know how to balance.
Wait.
Okay.
You would have to do this if you were not with somebody.
Right.
This is life shit. I hate to be the guy that's like, suck it the fuck up, Marine, but like, isn't she?
Yeah.
Right?
A Marine, yeah.
Like, how are you going to be fucking whining and crying about your life? You would have to do this anyways. It's called being an adult.
Right.
No offense to anybody out there. Like, I get being tired and stressed out. I understand that sometime life kicks you in the fucking teeth.
Mm-hmm.
But this is life shit. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have hard weeks or months. Sometimes you're going to have a hard couple of years.
Yeah.
You don't get to fucking sit around feeling sorry for yourself and crying about it. You need to fucking take control of your life and fix it. So if you want to have the pink and blue jobs, implement the pink and blue jobs and do your fucking job. He's coming home from work after even an easy day, whatever, and is excited to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And is trying to chill or hang out or work out with cars with you and trying to have dinner.
Quality time.
Right. And because you're having a hard day, you're shutting that shit down. How do you expect your relationship to ever heal if he's got energy to do shit and you're just constantly fucking blasé about everything because all you want to do is relax?
Yeah.
Where's the effort?
Right.
If you were to start dating again, you would still have to do everything that you're currently doing and start dating.
Yeah.
But you'd be willing to do that. Why aren't you willing to do it with your husband?
I was reading that and she was saying he has an easier job and he just gets to hang out on all these kinds of things. Do you hate him for that?
Resentment, envy.
Right. Is there some type of negative emotion going on because you feel like you have the harder life right now?
But okay, so that's definitely something she should explore.
Okay.
Absolutely should explore that within herself. And then ask herself why she wants to take that out on her man if that's the case. Because it's not his fault that he's got an easier chain of command, as she said. That's definitely a good thing to dissect.
All right, I'm going to get back into the email. I don't remember what I was going to say. I don't know how to balance the life I want without draining myself. I ask for help, but then he doesn't do it up to my expectations, and I don't say anything because he did help. I'll think about it for a day and then redo it so it meets my expectations because I don't want to shut him down or make him not want to help. I don't understand what's not up to expectations. Because now she's creating more work for herself. She asked him for help. He didn't do it right. And then she's going to wait a day or two. And then on top of everything else she's stressing out about, she has to go behind him and do it the way she wants it done.
Right. Well, that doesn't mean that he didn't do it right. It means that he didn't do it the way she wanted
That's
it.
why I did the quotations.
Right. And that's that. Well, I'm verbalizing that because even though you did the quotations, it doesn't mean that people are going to get it.
Right.
That matters. If you told me to fold the towels and I fold the towels and put them away and they're not folded to your expectation of how you want the towels folded, it doesn't mean that I didn't do what you asked me to do. It means that you're not happy with the way that it was done. So you get to go and redo it. And if that's the case and you guys can't come to an amicable, this is the way the towels need to be done, or just accept the fact that he fucking helped.
Right.
Does it really matter if the towels are rolled or folded? Like, how is that going to affect your life? If you open the cabinet and they're not perfect, they're in a fucking cabinet. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Right? Like, this is absolutely making more stress for yourself than needed. Yeah.
And also, if a conversation of like, hey, babe, when you do the laundry, can you make sure it's done this way, is going to put him over the deep end, there's bigger problems.
I agree. There's a lot of things like, especially with laundry, that's an easy one because people argue over the shit all the time. I will help you with laundry. And if you need me to do laundry, I'll do it. It's easy. It's a couple buttons and then fucking dick off for an hour and then move shit over and dick off for another hour or two, depending on what's in there. When I have you do the laundry or when you choose to do the laundry and you want to leave everything in the basket, I have a problem with wrinkly clothes. So like, even if you wanted to leave everything in the basket, you will lay my shirts out on the bed and I can put them away when I get a chance to do it so that my shirts aren't wrinkled. I didn't say, don't leave the clothes in the basket. I'm like, I don't like it when my shirts are wrinkled. You could have left them in the dryer, knowing that I could have fluffed them when I needed to grab them, right? Because that solves wrinkles. There's a whole lot of things that could be done in that moment. You chose to lay them on the bed because they're not wrinkly if they're laid out flat. And the heat from the other shirts on top of it just de-wrinkles. It's problem solving. I don't have wrinkly shirts. You don't have to worry about not doing the laundry properly. We had an easy conversation about what it is that like will make me happy with the laundry situation. So in the event that like the towel thing, if the towels aren't folded the way that they wanted to be folded, you have a conversation about it and then have grace. We've talked about this a lot. While they're breaking a lifetime of folding towels to make it fit the way you want it to fit, doesn't mean that they didn't do it right. There's not a right way to fold the towels.
Right.
Not a wrong way to fold the towels. This is your perspective.
I'm trying to make sure I serve him, but I also have so much shit I deal with at work that I just want to collapse due to it all. I am also stuck on the opposite shift as him right now and see him for a day and a half out of the week. We are doing our check-ins again, and I have realized how shitty I was. We are doing much better, and when I say much, I mean that we are laughing till we cry again. Your podcast has made me realize how much I dropped the ball. Through therapy, I began to realize that he was pulling away, and I tried to re-spark the intimacy. He never wanted to be intimate, and I am to blame for pushing him away. I tried asking him what I could do. He said to do it subtly. Oh, fuck. What?
Subtly. You were right the first time.
That's such a stupid word. Why is there a T if it's not sounded?
You mean a B?
What is it?
Subtle.
Subtly?
Subtly.
You know, in teaching our children how to read, I already knew the English language was an absolute disaster. But when I'm sitting down with our children and I'm like, sound out this word, and they're like, E, I'm like, no, babies, like, let's just pretend the E's not on that one. So it's just av, it's have. But then they're like, but I have to sound out the E on every other word. And I'm like, on some words, the E is just a ghost. And they're like, what do you mean, mommy? And I'm like, it's for decoration.
It's like that in every language. It's not just ours. I definitely agree it should be phonetically spelled, though.
He said to do it subtly, and I tried that. He said he needed chores done, so I did that. I tried giving him compliments and putting notes in his lunchbox or wallet. I had a conversation with my husband about our intimacy in the bedroom. I told him I feel unloved because I am constantly being shut down despite my efforts. He expressed to me that he thought he might have a hormonal imbalance and got it checked. It was all good, and he expressed that he may have some unresolved problems from when he was a teenager. When he was 15, he had an unhealthy relationship with a 25-year-old woman. I have very strong, so I'm just going to pause there. If he had sex with that woman, he was statutory raped. I understand there could be variations of unhealthy. Either way, he was groomed by a 25-year-old woman. Women are predators. Not all women, but women can be predators just like men can be predators. And I think women get away with it more than men do. Because it's, oh, bro, our teacher's so hot. Could you imagine?
Right.
I would have been so lucky to have that be my first time at 14 years old. I have very strong feelings about it and told him that he was groomed, but he shuts that conversation down. He expressed that sex feels like a chore.
They had a very healthy sex life in the beginning of this.
Yes.
And now they don't.
Yes.
That's an excuse.
It is.
Call it for what it is. He's no longer having a sex drive. It could be that there's not an attraction there, that it's become old, that there's no excitement, there's no foreplay. There's a whole lot of things that could be going on there. You don't get to go, well,
right.
That happened to me as a kid. Now it's a fucking problem. It wasn't a problem 6 months ago.
Yeah. It could have been all of the really shitty bitchiness that she did. And now he's no longer attracted and he's recognizing that,
right.
Damn, this isn't what I wanted. I asked about what changed from when we were dating to now, and he said that he's always had those feelings. I'm assuming it may be because he didn't know me well enough to confide in me then. I want to be intimate, but I don't want to be a chore. I'm sorry that was so much. I am just looking for some direction. I truly aspire to have the relationship the two of you do. It is wonderful having a great couple to strive to be like after being surrounded by my family's own toxic relationships. I wish you both the best.
I don't understand the sex aspect of that.
Right.
If you were able to have sex without it being a chore in the beginning of the relationship and it was fun and exciting and you guys were fucking like rabbits and now you're not, I don't believe that was always the case.
Right.
I really think that he's looking for an easy excuse for the behavior because it's easier to put the blame on something that's external
and not what's happening in the relationship.
Right. It has absolutely nothing to do with our lives than to go, I'm just not attracted to you anymore, or I don't find our sex exciting the way that it was.
I can't stop thinking about all the shit that you said to me when you were mad at me. And every time I try to have sex with you, that comes into my mind like an intrusive thought.
Right. Every time I come home from work and try to talk to you, you're fucking complaining about how tired you are and how exhausting your day is and how hard work is and how your shoulder hurts. And all you do is bitch and complain and you're negative about everything. Right. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm just throwing out examples of what it could look like. And if that's what it looks like coming home, of course, there's no interest there. And the same thing could go for him. If he's getting shit on all day and comes home and is exhausted and is trying to get comfortable with this woman and there's no compassion there or empathy or gratitude, why would you want to do that?
Or even a built up resentment because he has the easier job.
Right.
In quotations.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot more here than what's being stated.
I agree.
And they said that they've worked through a lot of shit. The check-ins are happening, they're laughing and having a good time again, and now the sex is just not there. You can act like best friends with somebody and not sleep with them.
Yeah.
So like, where's the disconnect? What's actually happened there? Is there resentment? Maybe he needs to start going to therapy. Maybe they both need to go to therapy and really sit down and talk about what's going on. But if there is a resentment there and there is hostility or ugliness or animosity or anything about that, and he's not willing to have the conversation outside of a therapeutic office, what makes you think that he would inside? Would you think that there would be like, well, this person will understand and they can explain it? Like, how would that look? I don't know if that would even change anything.
Right. I would try to have conversations that are deeper. I'm also not willing to live in a sexless relationship.
Yeah.
Now, like if medical things are going on or like a disease is happening, like if an external life circumstance is going on that changes the way that we love each other, I'll adapt to that.
Right.
But if you're telling me like after the years that we've been together and the sex life that we have, all of a sudden, yeah, some shit from my childhood's bubbling up and I don't really want to have sex anymore. That's not how this is going to work. Like, we can go into therapy, like you said. We can try to talk this out one-on-one. We can try to like reintroduce the courting phase. And why are you looking at me like that?
I wonder if this has always actually been a thing in the relationship because they've only been together for a little over a year.
Yeah.
They were not living together at first. Then they got married and bought a house and moved in together and the roommates were there. And there was issues with the sex during that aspect too.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if there was issues with sex from the beginning. You know how yesterday during that recording we did, you said that if you were to pretend to be really into cars, and the guy that you were dating was really into cars, and you faked it to like do that. You can only keep up that facade for so long before you want to go back into the things that you enjoy because you were trying to be something you're not for your person or to be loved. If this dude was actually molested at 15 years old and he has an issue with sex and he was trying to fake it to get somebody to love him, that could actually tie a whole lot of issues to sex.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be a whole, I'm going to try to make this work for my person just so that they love me. That's a very different discussion. But like, we assume that their sex life was great in the beginning.
Because that's what she said.
Right. But when we go back and listen to the things that she was saying about how the roommates were and how she was pushing him away emotionally and he was pushing away physically, like that says a whole lot. So if they've only been together for 2 years or 3 years now, and the first year of it, they had a couple of months where sex was good, and then everything fell apart beyond that, like that's a lot to process, and there's a whole lot more there.
You know, it could also be, fuck, what did you just say? I just got distracted.
I was talking about the fake it till you make it thing. Fake it to be loved.
Okay, it's back. What other form of intimacies are going on outside of sex? Right? If you're just doing acts of service because he asked you to do it and there's no, babe, I'm proud of you. Thank you for everything you do in life. Thank you for getting through the rough times within this first year of our relationship, or just like genuine appreciation. And he feels like he's just a sex object like he did when he was 15. That could be a problem.
Absolutely. Jenna in the chat also mentioned that there was two shoulder surgeries as well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that takes time. And like you then have to think about the fact that there's been medications, again, opioids, as well as the mental meds that she's been on. I think that this sex thing, if she was to step back and look at it, this might have been an entire relationship thing.
Yeah.
And because the new exciting feeling has worn off and they're living together full time, maybe that's changed and that the rose-colored glasses are coming off.
Yeah. Definitely something to think about.
Yeah. So what's the answer to get this relationship back to where it needs to be, or get it to a point of happiness?
I would be having conversations with my person. I would totally be upfront and honest and be like, hey, I emailed into 2 people on the internet to try and figure this out because I don't know what to do anymore. And I feel like the answers I'm receiving are just filibustering. And they said all of this shit, and I would like to talk to you about it because I don't feel right in our marriage and I can't live life this way. I would even try to see if he would be willing to watch this.
Yeah, or have him write in with his own perspective on it, because that would provide a whole lot of more information. She said that their relationship is good.
Yeah, they're
laughing and dating and having fun in their marriage. The sex is just not there. So what's the issue? Like if you're in my mind, us laughing and playing and having that relationship, there's intimacy there.
Right.
And if I had to have a marriage with no intimacy or no sex, I'd rather have one with no sex, because I can still have that connection with you without having sex.
Right.
I would want to have conversations about the intimacy aspect. What does she need that she can feel fulfilled in their relationship while they're working on the sex thing?
You need to create a love menu.
What do you mean by that? Because that's the second time you've said that recently.
So a menu of other things that can be done in place of sex. Hand holding, making out for 15 minutes, hand stuff.
Gotcha. I agree with that. I think that that's actually a great way to segue into actually having playtime. I think that a lot of people want that intimacy, and once it starts, the engine has been warmed up, so to speak, it's go time. And I think that happens for a lot of people. I think that a lot of people just don't have it in them in the moment to start, or it seems like a chore, or I'm tired, I'd rather just go to bed. But once that goes and those endorphins start going, you start feeling good about it, that naturally is going to happen.
Right.
All right. You said you had to go, so let's wrap up.
I do.
You have anything you want to add to the chat or to anything else?
No, not particularly.
I would like to point out that my book is for sale, and it is on Amazon. If you look up Christopher Burkett, No One Is Coming to Save You. There's a picture of me on the cover holding my Don't Give Up sign. Please buy my book. It'll teach you a whole lot of things about my perspective, which hopefully will help you with your perspective.
I hope so.
I don't know.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Patreon. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last 2.5 hours, but we are done.
Yes.
Remember, guys, you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.